I show you how to craft these towers and share my top crafting hacks today on Dungeon Craft. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. I'm Professor DM, and this channel is about all things tabletop role-playing games.
And I'm Deathbringer. Like, subscribe, and sign up for the Deathbringer RPG newsletter.
When I started this channel, I called it Dungeon Craft because I'm a crafting DM, which is to say I craft terrain for the scenarios I run. My inspirations were the DMG and DM Scotty from the DM's Craft. And I wanted to share my craft, so Dungeon Craft was born. I originally uploaded 2 videos a month. One was on crafting doors, trees, ultimate dungeon terrain, aka dungeon pizza. And the second video was about how to craft better adventures, like my adaptation of the Caves of Chaos and the Lost City. Over the years, I've continued to make crafting videos like my ultimate GM screens, my slab chop painting, and how to repaint pre-painted miniatures, but those videos are very difficult to make and they don't get the same amount of views anymore. When a video is released, YouTube sends out a small sliver of the subscribers that video. If they click on it, it's sent to more subscribers and then the unsubscribed masses. But if the initial cohort of subscribers fail to click on a video right away, YouTube buries the video. It sends the creator a sad message like, "Subscribers are choosing to watch this video less often than usual, contributing to lower views." So as a result, this is going to be my last crafting video on YouTube. I'm still going to upload crafting videos to Patreon, and it's not about hiding my content behind a paywall. It's about saving my channel from oblivion. In today's craft, I'll show you how I built the 2 towers for my recent video, Make It Epic, in which I chronicle the final session of my 30-year campaign, and it was dedicated to my friend Gene, who passed away last year. My group wanted to give Gene's character a final epic send-off and invited his brother Ray to play Gene's character on one last adventure. Link to that video at the end of this one. I wanted epic stakes and I knew I wanted an epic location. So I did some Google foo and came up with Skullvein Manse, the lair of the Astromancer from Games Workshop. 2 things kept me from buying it. First, the $300 price tag because it's out of production. But I also wanted a larger scale so all my miniatures could fit on the bridges and walkways without falling off. And I only had about 2 weeks to craft the thing. I don't want to overpromise. I can't show you blueprints or give you a step-by-step tutorial because I was making it up as I went and I only had 2 weeks. But I shot enough of it that I could show you the techniques and share with you my top crafting hacks, the things I wish I knew when I first got started. My first hack is you need a dedicated space. A table with a lamp and natural light if possible. A cutting surface, or at least a surface you don't mind gouging, or a cutting board is a must. This is my crafting area. My second hack is using the right tools. I have multiple utility knives. The largest is for cutting large pieces of XPS foam into more manageable chunks. The smallest is for the detail work, and it's the one I use the most. I never measure, I just whittle on a piece of XPS until it looks like what I want. I recommend new blades for new projects because XPS foam dulls blades very quickly. If you find yourself struggling, replace the blade. Next, get yourself some Foamular XPS insulation foam. It's made by Owens Corningware. I get it from Home Depot. There are cheaper alternatives, but Foamular is more dense, less porous, and it's easier to carve. You can get a 24 by 24 inch square piece of foam for $10, and it will yield a lot of buildings. You can also use the thick blue stuff, but you need a hot wire cutter like this one. I use this one for the base of Tower 2. No measurements, I just carve away until I like the way it looks. My next hack is get your bricks off Etsy. I do not have a Proxxon cutter. It takes up valuable real estate. I'd rather order 1,000 XPS bricks off Etsy and never have to worry about replacing broken wires on the Proxxon. You can get textured bricks so you don't have to worry about adding texture, and it's just so much easier. The best glue is just standard wood glue. This is footage from a different project, but you get the idea. Glue the bricks in a staggered formation so the mortar lines don't line up. Wood glue allows you to shift the bricks around, but it dries pretty quickly. Let's make a tower. Cut out 2 3 by 3 inch squares. How much is that in centimeters? I'm sure I don't know. Hot glue them together. Grit out a 1/2 inch all around. Shade in the edges so you don't make a mistake. Use a hot wire cutter or utility knife to cut away the sides. Glue on your bricks and cover the seams. Use a gel roller to draw out the mortar lines on the coins. Yeah, that's what you call those blocks on the edges of a building. If you want to put on a door, prime it first, glue it on, then glue the bricks around it. My next hack, cover your project with Mod Podge mixed with black paint. Use a larger brush for surfaces like rock and a smaller brush for bricks so you don't obscure the details. Let it dry overnight and hit any spots you miss the next day. I made the observatory from a styrofoam ball. The telescope was made from straws and a toothpaste cap. The base of the tower is made from heavier blue foam. The tower itself is made from lighter pink foam. The angle makes it look treacherous and top heavy, but it's actually quite stable. I painted around the bottom of the base with brown spray paint. I use Army Painter, but Krylon will do. The reason we Mod Podge the surface is because the propellant and spray paint will melt styrofoam. The middle section I paint green and gray because that will be stone. Next comes the base coat. I use Craft Smart Tan for all the bricks, then go in and paint alternating bricks golden brown and gray because bricks and stone are not one color. I wait an entire 24 hours, leaving the model to bake in the sun if possible before applying a black wash. The cliff is dry brushed with several layers of gray, each lighter than the last, then dry brush tan again to add a layer of dust. My next hack, get your doors and windows from Etsy. I do not have a 3D printer. Again, they take up space and they smell. I appreciate all 28,000 of you who watch my video on how to make a door. In the description, I said you could make one in just a few hours. Well, now you can just click and they'll mail you a whole bunch and you can just paint them up. Here I've primed the windows with spray paint and superglued them to wax paper. When they're dry, I cut them out and pop them in the window. This square window was made from plastic granny grating. Its actual name is black plastic mesh canvas in case you're checking on Amazon. I don't even glue them in, I just pop them in.
Like and subscribe, it really helps the channel.
Shingles are another annoying thing you no longer have to craft. You could just order sheets of shingles, again off Etsy, and cut them to fit the roof, and I say hooray for progress. Let's talk about how I achieve the stone look. Again, I start with tan, I add golden brown and gray bricks for variety, I wash them, then dry brush them with tan to tie all the colors together. The wood is burnt sienna, dry brush with that same tan to give it a weathered look. And I use that burnt sienna tan combination on the bridge as well, which is made from strips of balsa over a popsicle stick frame to give it support. Here are the towers on the table. Let's get the full 360, then we'll get close up. The bridge is removable. I like my terrain to be as flexible as possible. The base is an 8-inch cork mat to provide stability. The skull is made from styrofoam. You can get these at craft stores around Halloween time. The buttresses were carved with XPS and I hot glued them and the skull together to the side of the tower. The bridge is made from foam core to give it extra stability. The stairs carved from foam core as well. The side is carved from 2 layers of XPS topped with 2 layers of cork. You just break the edges off the cork to get a realistic stone look. Then you cover with wood putty, then Vallejo earth to cover the cracks. Each layer of the tower's 5 levels was made from pink XPS and the bricks glued on top. No, the tower doesn't open. They're hot glued together. I was originally going to attach each level with magnets, but that proved to be too ambitious under the time constraints. And I think buildings that open are overrated because the rooms are always too small for actual play. The second tower base incorporates a larger styrofoam skull. The gaps in base of the cliff were covered with wood putty to eliminate the seams, then covered with Vallejo texture. I use a Vallejo Diorama FX earth texture for the base. I can make my own texture paint from craft paint and baking soda, but Vallejo makes a great looking mud texture without the mess, and it's so easy to use. You could just apply it with your finger and wash it off with soap and water. The second tower consists of 4 levels, again each built separately and hot glued together. The base of each level is foam core to provide stability, then covered with balsa strips. I used a plastic skull ring and extra skulls I had laying around to add additional detail. The cage comes from a WizKids torture room set. If I could change anything, it would be the top level. It can fit a miniature, but it's tight. And during the game, a couple of the plastic miniatures flew off because it was on a Lazy Susan. At some point, I'm going to widen the walkway. My next hack is reset to 0. At the end of the day, clean up your workspace. That way when you start work the next day, you can get right to work instead of wasting valuable time and energy cleaning up yesterday's mess. That always makes you lose momentum. Also, I always retract my blades and put my knives away because I don't want them falling off the table and into my foot. I'm really proud at how these towers turned out. I used every technique I knew. If you want to know more about how I ran this encounter, you should check out my video, Make It Epic. I think it's one of my best, and it's coming up next. Thank you for joining me on my crafting journey. There will be more on Patreon, and I'll include a link to that below. And as always, thanks to the patrons for making this content possible. I'll see you soon. May all your rolls be 20s.
Don't go away just yet. Click on Make It Epic. Do it for Gene. We still miss you, buddy.